You have literally wasted time and now it is exam time. You feel that you haven't studied much and losing your shit by thinking of the question paper and bulky answers. You are searching for a way to study or revise your portions in a really short span of time. So every single one of us must have come across this kind of situation at least once in our lives, am I right? Because I've gone through it as well. But recently in the previous sem, I found out a very good study technique, or more like a revision technique, which works for 100%. Believe me, I've tried it out myself. If you are curious about to know what is it and how to use it, make sure you watch this video till the end and make sure you hit that subscribe button for new videos every now and then, because it motivates me a lot to make more and more videos just for you. Without wasting even a single second, let's get into the video right now.
I'll bring that fire, then I'll make it rain. Look at this boy, have I gone insane? I'm living life mellow, 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 mellow. We're living life mellow, mellow, mellow.
So this method is actually called blurting method. Of course, a funny name. So let me just share you a small personal incident on how I found out this method. Actually, it was by accident. I didn't know something like this existed. So in the previous semester, there was a subject called property law. Actually, it is quite easy, but it is very complex to understand. A lot of my friends and classmates were also struggling with that subject. Also because of the teacher. She was very strict. It was the day of the exam. It was mid-semester, which is like an internal component. It was 50 marks. So what I did was, I studied well. I was pretty confident for the exam. It was like a normal exam for me. But during the exam,
things went wrong.
every single answer I studied started to fly away from my head. I had no idea what was happening with me. I started assuming things like, did I have brain damage or something like that? Why? Why am I forgetting so much? And why am I forgetting everything I studied? Things were so horrible. It was an awful day. On the next day, it was another paper called Intellectual Property Rights. This was my favorite. I was definitely not ready to forget anything again. So what I did was, I started writing and practicing everything I knew about intellectual property before the day of the exam, because I wanted to feel confident that I won't forget anything again, like what happened for property. Of course, what I did was very time consuming because I was writing everything word by word. I was able to sleep only by 2 AM in the morning. But on the next day, it was definitely worth it. 200% better performance than the previous exam. So from this you can understand that I was actually using the blurting method, but I didn't know it. Only recently I came to know this actually had a name, which is called Blurting Study Technique. This method of studying or revision was made famous by a successful YouTuber called Jade. Thanks to you, Jade. So here is a short meaning about the technique. Blurting is an active recall technique that is often used as part of the exam revision process. It can also be called as memory dump. Blurting involves quickly reading a section or part of the portion and then closing the book and writing down as much as you remember. And then you can reopen the book, see what you've missed and read it again. So that's it for the meaning. It's time for a live example. Step number 1. Pick out a concept or an answer to study. The length of the answer totally depends on you. You can go for a whole big answer at one strike, or you can cut it down into pieces. It all depends on how much you can retain. Step number 2. Read it out. So after choosing what you are going to revise, quickly give it a read. You need not do it multiple times. Just do it once or twice. That would be enough. Again, this depends on the difficulty of the concept. If it is complex or difficult to understand, go for multiple times reading. And step number 3, time to blurt. Close the book or material, whatever you're referring to, and open a rough notebook. Start writing everything you remember. Believe me, you'll remember 90% of what you just read. But wait, let me make it more simple by sharing what I do personally. So while writing what I just read, I won't write everything in a legible or in a neat way like I would write it in an exam. No. I would just scribble while my mouth recites what I'm writing. Let me show you an example. You'll understand better.
Ignorance of fact is an excuse, and ignorance of law is not an excuse.
As you can see here, only the first letters of each word would be legible. Others are just shit. And finally, step number 4. If at all, if you miss anything while writing, just go back and read it once or twice. That's it. Number 1. This one's really important. To even start using the blurting method, you should have read and understood the exam portions at least once. Because without even reading or really understanding what you're gonna study or write or revise, blurting is a
complete waste of time.
So please don't do it. You cannot actually revise something which you haven't studied enough. Number 2. While using the blurting method, only your short-term memory is in action. This has nothing to do with you remembering answers for a very long time. You remember whatever you read and write only for a short period, like for example, maybe till you write the exam and complete it. This has nothing to do with long-term memory. This is more like a trick or a hack to remember answers easily. And finally, number 3, don't be worried about the time consumption. Of course, it will take more time than usual because you're reading as well as you're writing or even scribbling. But it is definitely worth the shot. I'm talking from my personal experience here. Trust me, it will work. I will never have the intention of making a video about something which wouldn't work at all. I'm doing it for your benefit. I've come across something beneficial, I've researched it, and I'm shooting this video right now just for you. Because you are part of this channel and its future as well. So let me know in the comment section whether this was useful, or even if you have any doubts regarding how to use this method in an effective way, you can drop them down below as well. So that's it for today guys. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for new videos every now and then because it motivates me a lot to make more and more videos just for you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
I'll bring that